Hi guys, Rene here and welcome to the workshop. Many of you have been asking for an Italian bike build, so the day has come and I have this beautiful Colnago V3RS disc brake version to build, and we're going to do that with a pair of Enve 4.5 AR disc wheels and the Sram red E-type group set, complete with the quad power meter and everything you need. Cockpit wise, it's the Data Colnago stem with the internal cable routing, very similarly to the specialized models, and we have Data Super Zero carbon fiber bar, so quite a big portion Italian from the bike. Now let's have a look at the frame set itself. So unlike the traditional C64 locked frame, this one is a monocoque design and it's really modern actually. It's a semi-aero climbing frame, as is the rage nowadays. So you've got truncated profiles on the fork, slightly also on the head tube, on the down tube, seat post, and the seat stays as well, which are also dropped by the way. The frame set itself comes in this rather stealthy satin raw carbon finish, adorned with a couple of gold touches. This is a limited edition frame set, one of 99 made, so quite an exclusive unit, although in my opinion not as beautiful as the so-called frozen paint job models, but arguably this is going to be quite a bit lighter. And the frame, the nice detail is that the seat post is matched with the same detailing as the frame. On top of that, we have another Italian component, that's the Physique Antares Adaptive in a full carbon Mobius rail version, so that's also a really nice piece of kit. One interesting feature of this frame is the bottom bracket. Unfortunately, it's proprietary Colnago, so you have these cupped inserts and you press PF41 in there, which is a bit of an odd solution at the first look, but if I think about it, the good thing is that you can remove these with the bottom bracket pressed in, and then you can extract it away from the bike, so potentially there's less damage. Also, if over time you change a couple of BBs and the fit becomes too loose, you can just replace these, unlike the frame, which is, well, repairing that a bit more complicated. You don't actually get too many things with the frame set itself, so you get a proprietary headset cap to match the stem, get a seat post binder cover, foam tubing, these aforementioned adapters, and a couple of plugs. This frame is also compatible with mechanical drivetrains, which is becoming a rarity, but here it is, the adapter for it. Of course, you won't need that with E-tap. And another interesting feature of the fork is the fact that it has kind of an unusually shaped steer tube. So it's a D shape, yes, a couple of bikes have that, but inside that you have a molded stiffening rib and an aluminum insert, so you get no expander plug. I presume this goes all the way through to the fork steerer, and it's also threaded all the way where it has to be. So yeah, quite an interesting design. And another quite a unique feature of this frame set is that, unlike other frames which I normally work on, it uses an external bottom bracket, so the bearings don't just slide in. You have these press fit cups like in bottom brackets, and the bearings are integral part of those. This is not so common nowadays, and yeah, the bottom bracket also not very traditional, but other than that, the bike looks pretty amazing. So let's build it up and see how it turns out. Okay guys, the Colnago is now finished and it turned out to be pretty nice, and yeah, well, as expected with this very high-end build. Kit Now, normally I don't work on Italian bikes that often, but this one actually I really like. The quality of the finish is very high compared to Pinarello, for example, which is, well, cheapish for the look at it. And it has some pretty neat features, as I've explained. It's well thought out, well designed, and also there's a big focus on durability from what I can see. What I didn't mention previously is also the threads, for example, for the thread axles are replaceable. Yeah, it has press fit cups, it has threaded bottom bracket, so really a solid, no nonsense design. One thing that bugged me a little bit and delayed the build process was that the thread cups themselves, as they use Colnago's specific T45 interface, and I have 8 different bottom bracket cup tools, but none of them it fit. T47 doesn't fit, so I had to order one specifically, which, yeah, is not ideal. They could have just used something that was off the shelf. Also, one omission that I quite miss is that you get no blanking port for the cable guide, since we're using ETAP. And I guess this is also where the Di2 junction would go, and yeah, at least with this frame they just weren't included. Also, the bar tape included is well, it's OEM bar tape, so it's not on par with the quality of well established aftermarket products that I tend to use. You can also notice that it's quite chunky at the drops. That's because the owner asked me to double wrap this bottom section, so that's the reason for that. You can also see that currently we have a force crank arm on there. This is just because of availability issues. I've borrowed him this one until we get the red version in stock, otherwise it's complete. As I said, Enve 4.5 AR disc wheel set, tubeless, plump, wide tires on there, Chris King ceramic hubs, so really nice piece of kit overall, decked out with some ceramic speed upgrades. Okay, so that's pretty much it about this Colnago. I hope you have found this little bit of insight useful. And if you want to see other bikes that I work on and use myself, then don't forget to tune to the channel later on and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.